Welcome to Tone Talk.
I'm going to leave that right on screen. Y'all read that out loud. Somebody in the chat, read that out loud because it goes to the conversation what Lorenzo Starks done said. Golly, man. I want everybody to read that out loud 3 times. We're going to start this show off right before I get into my presentation. All right, everybody done read it out 3 times in the chat. Wave your hands if you have read out loud what Lorenzo Starks done said to start this show off. He said, what programs does he supposed to cut? We're going to have a conversation about intellectualism, about education, about what programs that he's supposed to cut. That's how we going to start. And you wonder how we got to a point where your houses don't understand you in trouble with Trump. This is Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks. I want to have a discussion today because the Trump supporters, the black men that was running around, they quieter than they was before. Now, I'm not here to support Kamala. I told you never Kamala before Kamala, but had they given us a legitimate option, I would have took that. I voted down third party for the first time. I normally vote down ballot Democrat, even with Obama. You got black men who voted for Obama one or both times that now don't support Trump and think that they're more dynamic than me. Come on. I was voting down ballot Democrat when nobody understood what it meant. Created the ADOS project with Yvette Carnell. And you think we the same. We going to have a dialogue. I don't have no problem with a secondary view on things. But you better have some eyeballs. And if you dropped out of high school or you went to a bad high school and barely graduated, it's going to be very hard for us to dialogue on politics. I'm sorry. Unless you joined the union, you created a farmers coalition, and you've been selling some kind of bananas or peanuts, you're going to bring a very specific kind of knowledge to the discussion that happens on the ground. But many of y'all, it's video games and basketball, so you can't do nothing. You got laser beams in your avatar for Twitter. Can we talk about it? I want to get to it today. You got people with an avatar that's a cartoon of Wu-Tang Clan trying to have a conversation with me about politics in 2024. You know they be having them little fat legs. The ones where they call them cankles. Because the ankle and the calf run together. I'm setting it up because you're going to hear about this man that's standing behind Trump that white folks pulled out and used as a discussion piece for black male voting, but he was part of a cult and he damn near crazy. They don't do white trailer trash when they interview about how the white male vote went. Can we go? I'm serious. Y'all going to hear I got the whole thing to show you the mania in a large chunk of black male, particularly Trump voters. And they got problems now because the programs they mama own, they Medicaid they own, the programs their kids on for school, that Trump talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, executing on what Reagan wanted to do and couldn't. Can we get to it? Can we bring it around and ask the question, what are we going to do with all the Trump voters this Thanksgiving? You shouldn't get a goddamn turkey wing. You shouldn't get no yams. You shouldn't get no collard greens. They should put you out with the damn hoof. They should put you outside. That's my view. I didn't know. I didn't understand. No, ain't no tater salad. Bones. Eat the leftover ribs. You attacking Trump voters, Tone? You gonna be like that? Hell yeah. Trump out here, he done made the craziest. He done took all the people in Arkham Asylum and gave them posts in the cabinet. Do you know what's about to go down? Nope. Not a goddamn clue. You graduated from barely high school in Negro America. You dropped out in 8th grade. What did Charlamagne drop out? 10th grade. Whoopi Goldberg done dropped out in 10th grade. Y'all got me talking to and about people that might not have but one unit of U.S. history, Charlemagne. You out here standing next to all the, if you zoomed out, it's probably nothing but white folks, and they done picked this man out that was in a cult. Y'all got to understand, Republicans win control of House, cementing a GOP trifecta. So Trump already took the Supreme Court. Obama, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, all played a role in that. We know that. We're not going to litigate that today. So the Supreme Court conservative for our entire life, likely. You got him taking the Senate, the Republicans. You got them holding the presidency. And they also just got Congress. Trump is coming in with the kind of mandate that we might not have seen in our lifetime that we thought Obama was going to be, but he's going to change it against us. And too many black men that didn't know what they was doing that actually supported this mess. Now, I'm not saying you alone could have changed it, but you done been walking around, you chest out. But now when we hear you ain't told me why he ain't got no black people on that cabinet. Why he giving reparations to white folks. Y'all seen that? He want to take the endowments from the colleges and give white folks reparations. But you quiet now. All right. You got this just for men, ass dude. He about a cornball and a half. I don't even know if he Adolf's. Oh, man. They got to find any congressman. Let's go find a congressman from Iowa, from the small district, because it ain't that many black Republicans. And what we do have now is a rise of people that were never Harris and were also very frustrated with life, and put that into the Trump pot with no policy that supports it, because he can't give you none. He right wing. I just want to talk. 310-388-3499. Some of y'all don't deserve to be at this Thanksgiving that's coming up. You done been ranting about Trump, and you done been talking with your hat on. You done been walking around. How many of y'all walking around the freeway like this? You don't get your kid from after hours on time at the child care. You walking around on the freeway with cankles with a Trump sign so that he can cut all the programs. Republicans win House majority, claiming both chambers of Congress. Come on. They got both chambers. Oh. Republicans cemented their control of the House on Wednesday. Hold on one second. Republicans cemented their control of the House on Wednesday after holding on to a handful of critical seats in Arizona and California and defeating incumbent Democrats in key battleground districts and handing the GOP a governing trifecta in Washington to enact President-elect Donald Trump's agenda. It was not yet clear what the margin of the Republican majority in the House would be, and preliminary counts pointed to the likelihood that they would again hold only a slight edge over the Democrats. Votes were still being counted in some critical contests in the West, and a few other races were still too close to call. The resignation of Representative Matthew Gaetz on Florida on Wednesday after President-elect Donald J. Trump said he would nominate him for Attorney General further complicated the math for the GOP. They were so confident that they gonna get the House that he said, I'm gonna take one of y'all that's crazy and put you in the Attorney General seat, and you still gonna be there. Trump's so calculated, he might not know that man not gonna get nominated, and then he loses his seat. Let's get him out of here. No telling. I mean, it's all kind of games being played. The MSNBC, Comcast is talking about selling them. You don't think, in my view, there might have been some calls. We not having that mess where you bashing Trump the whole term. So you better figure out what you're going to do with MSNBC and CNN. Shake up that lineup. I'm just telling you what is my innuendo. The resignation of Representative Matthew Gaetz of Florida on Wednesday after President-elect Donald Trump said he would nominate him for Attorney General further complicated the math for the GOP. But Representative Hakeem Jeffries of New York, the Democratic leader, had already conceded that his party had fallen short. Republicans in the House and Senate have a mandate, Speaker Mike Johnson said. Republican. At the news conference in front of the Capitol, it was a decisive win across the nation. This is why education and historical knowledge and just general intelligence is so important. Many of y'all don't know what a mandate is. Y'all done gave Trump a mandate by showing black support for a man that don't deserve black support. giving a mandate to destroy your own home. He gonna bulldoze your home with your vote. Let me say that again. Trump is gonna bulldoze, proverbially, your social home, your schools, your Medicaid, any other programs you get, possibly even unemployment in your red state, with your own vote. As a red wave swept across the nation with voter registration, their unhappiness with the current Biden-Harris administration, many House Democrats and the party candidates were ultimately unable to outrun Vice President Kamala Harris's performance. We already talked about it. We should be blaming the DNC unlike anything we've seen. I don't know how they are escaping full scathing, because what happened was the New York Times experts, just like I said, just like Yvette said, knew, can I talk? That Kamala was the worst candidate in decades and that she had no chance against Trump. They put out the chart. It showed how far she was compared to, and they still ran her because it's almost like, I don't know, I want to lose. I know Biden is smiling a lot, and many of y'all are outside with black on black with the shorts and your cankles out, holding up signs. Too many of y'all, not many. Let me say too many of y'all. President election results. So when we look at the map, and we're going to get into the main question in a second, 310-388-3499, where are all the Trump supporting black men? Damn sure ain't they quiet after the election. You look at Michigan, you look at Pennsylvania, you look at Georgia. He took all the swing states. He took the whole blue wall, which is Michigan, Wisconsin, and PA, and includes Ohio. He took Georgia, he took Florida, he took Arizona, he took Nevada. Let's compare that map to what happened with Biden. Biden took Michigan, took PA, he even took Georgia, he took Arizona, he took Nevada. And this is the current map. This election was a mandate that allows this man to now legislate, to push policy from a far right agenda. Let's talk about it. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Give me your take, because you in the heart of it. You in the heart of it. Yeah. Milwaukee is a bad place. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the truth is, like I called in these times, we got to set aside $130. I actually canvassed for Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Because I've seen how many black people in Milwaukee spoke about Trump and spoke about the stimulus bills and didn't know if they
Can I add one thing for you? I hate to cut you off to support you. A lot of us have black folks that either don't know politically, but second of all, might be somewhere that's blue. And you got a loud mouth about right wing and all this, but you in a protective cocoon of blue. Blue governor, blue Congress. When you in the heart of it, in the deep South or Wisconsin, you got to slow down and listen to what this man said, and not just say you shouldn't be voting for the Democrats, because this man might know specifically how programs get cut. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, this is the thing though. I follow you closely and I do research. So I was trying to just explain to people how Congress is controlled with the purse string. I was trying to explain that to people, or it would come to an executive order if they said she gave these people this $50,000. But the main thing I was trying to explain to people, I don't know how they felt that the cost dressing and all those things was their main political issue.
Come on.
That was the main thing. I was wondering how they thought that was their biggest.
Let's make that more clear. Let's make that clear. You can't make trans rights your main issue if you got $10 in your bank account. If you got $10 in your bank account and 2 kids that need medical coverage from the state, that need public schools, you can't have trans as your only single issue you voting on. That means you are politically childish. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what they don't understand is like Milwaukee is kind of like the sister city to Detroit. So a lot of us don't understand is the economic decastration of Milwaukee. The inners are Shakespeare of Milwaukee.
Are you talking on a speakerphone or a regular phone? Because I don't think they can hear you clear.
Let me
Come on.
Hello?
Go ahead.
That's a little better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, and being in Milwaukee, one of the most segregated cities, is so the education and the information that they able to receive is to a point where they don't even understand anything about politics. And they'll tell you that they don't know politics, but they'll say what somebody hasn't done for them.
Hey, man. I know that you called in before and given a bit of your story. I think you talked about incarceration. I don't mean to. I'm pretty sure. And
I did the incarceration. Yeah.
And so, like, I know that on the ground, you've seen firsthand the impact of programs and things that you need cut by red right-wing folk. What you think about these black males voting against their own interests? Give me that, and I'll let you go.
Well, the issue with them is they don't even know what their interest is because they haven't taken the time to politically educate themselves about their own condition.
Come on.
You know, so they don't know. They don't know. And my thing I tell my people all the time is like when they argue what doesn't work for them, I argue with them the whole time and tell them is that you have never been politically active enough for politics to work for you. You have never politically informed yourself enough for politics to work for you. So you don't know or we don't understand what a program, what government or which party did what program for us. So they don't know that Trump keeps telling you he want to cut the Medicaid that most of them get.
They ain't gonna be. And also, we don't never live on today. The street they live on ain't where they gonna live next year. They gonna be special. The Medicaid they on today, they gonna cut that. I ain't gonna have it no way. In about 2 months, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna win on the stock market. I'm gonna win because I'm gonna make it to the NBA in about 3 months. You 43 years old.
Yeah.
You ain't finna make it out here, thick body.
And the thing is, out of 72 counties in Wisconsin, Milwaukee has the highest sales tax.
Only one other president, I believe it's Grover Cleveland. Let me just make this point. There's only one other president, I believe it's Grover Cleveland, that had a gap in between his presidencies. Nobody else has gotten a chance. What Trump is not right now is something that we have not seen in our lifetime. We have not really seen in America since 1800s. He is a president that got to sit around for 4 years and figure out exactly what he wants to do. And y'all just gave him a mandate to shrink all government and then become isolationist in terms of international product. And it will impact you in a nasty way. He's already appointing people a week after winning. And you're talking to me about he not a pen. You have to go back to school and learn how to write. Because I can't communicate to you if you don't have a main language. English is your main language, and you can't write in that language. I am Caesar. Go ahead.
Check this out. I want to say this, man. I was dating a female since 2018. She became a Trump supporter. I blocked her, stopped dealing with her. She drives a school bus for a living. His cuts on education is threatening to her job.
Come on. When
this is how
they don't want your kid at school, so we gonna cut down the bus. We gonna cut down the bus.
My point. She drives a school bus, and you gonna vote for Trump, and they attacking the Department of Education and cutting down access to get to school.
Come on.
You voted against your job and your children's education.
Oh, she voted for Trump.
Yeah, that's why I had to block her. I had to stop dealing with her.
I mean,
that was in 2018.
You ever seen somebody eat their own feet? Hey, I'm gonna let you go. I got a full queue. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for kicking it off. They got all three branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. They're not playing. So when we look at the vote, and I'm gonna come to y'all in the chat in a second. Don't go nowhere. I mean, on the calls. Support the channel. Subscribe, donate, share, please. Again, subscribe, donate, share. ToneTalks.net to donate. Call in 310-388-3499. Look at white men. They were at 37% for Harris. White women were at 45% for Harris. Black men dropped all the way to 77%. That is an abject failure for a black candidate. White black women were at 91. But before you say anything about black men, look at Latino men and look at Latino women. 43 and 60 for Harris. So white women are at 45. Latino women are at 60. That means you can't make no misogyny argument when it comes to black men. There was a severe problem with the candidate. She did not connect with people. But in addition, can we talk? You have to look at the amount of the voting electorate that they make up. She made a decision with Liz Cheney and campaigning with her and a lot of her issues that she focused on. You have to pay attention to the fact that black men are only 5% of the electorate. That's what matters. White women are 37%. It is them who gave Trump the presidency. Latinos are only 6. Latino women, Latino men, white women elected Donald Trump. I don't want to hear nothing else. Can we talk today? Let me take another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tom, this is Marcus from the west side of Detroit.
All right.
West side.
All right.
Let's have an honest conversation. The Democratic Party needs to fall apart. And I'm doing everything I could to make that happen. I voted for Trump, and I'm gonna vote for J.D. Vance when you run.
Okay.
What has the Democratic Party done for black men? We're 40% of the homeless in this country.
What did Trump do?
A third of black males are convicted felons.
What did Trump do?
What? Tell me what have they done for the majority of black men? A good chunk of us are just left out the cold.
Yeah, but that's like asking the
Democratic Party.
That's like asking what the bottom of the knife did. No, there's a front part where it stabbed you. I mean, I don't understand, I guess, how you get there if this is the case right here. Trump budget deeply cuts health, housing, other assistance for low and moderate income families. So you did not vote for Trump and voted for Cornell or Jill Stein or just down ballot, and then you said, I'm going to vote for the front of the knife. It's going to stab me up. All right. I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead. Get it off.
40% of us are homeless. A third of us are convicted felons. What are we losing if he cuts this stuff? A couple more? We ain't losing nothing.
I have no idea what you're saying.
We already out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
If people be down, bring everybody down. Everybody understand what pain is looking like.
Wait. So you're a fatalist. No, but you're hold on, caller. I'm gonna have to. This is called fatalist arguments. What he's describing is destroy everything because my life ain't good. And I'm not talking about individually. I think his life is okay. Today is not the day for a fatalist argument. And I think that this gentleman has a good job. I don't want to hear that. This is what I mean. Don't be in a good job. And other people, like the man that called before from Wisconsin that went to prison, is out here campaigning because he know programs get cut, but you don't need programs. So you let everybody die. Let everybody struggle. Shut the ass up. No. That is not the answer. The answer is to demand a dynamic politics, but are you part of the ADOS Foundation? So instead of being part of the ADOS Foundation and doing dynamic politics, your answer is to destroy everything. Hold on, but you don't know what it's like to live in destruction. The last dude that went to prison. I voted for Trump. I'm going to vote for J.D. Vance. Bro, oh man, I'm sorry. I had to end that one. I didn't know what you was talking about. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Cam Punk from Florida.
All right, here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm a little frustrated from that. Look, I want you to look at what's on screen. Jamil Hill believes you're a racist if you vote for Trump. On 2020, she said that. But then she told us in 2017 in a tweet on accident, my mother voted for Trump. She's been voting Republican since post-Bill Clinton. What's going on with these black folks being erratic politically?
I mean, I do know that there are black people that vote for Republicans, period. A lot of them are religious. And I'm going to be honest with you personally, I'm not mad at anyone for voting outside of the Democrat Party at this point.
Okay.
Because besides the fact that, that Kamala was a very flawed candidate, that's what they've been consistently giving us, for the past, I would say,
Can I ask you a question though? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where do we go if you're not mad at nobody and then they vote is the reason that your programs get cut or your family's programs get cut? Because Trump is no, but I'm saying, listen to, I'm sorry, I didn't finish the point. I don't think that the completion of that thought is done where you say out loud, I'm not mad at them taking value in their vote, but I will be mad at them if they give a vote to a person that will destroy my community. That's the other side of it.
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
So my thing is, this is when Democrats are in power, they have every excuse to not do anything. You know what? I'm not going to keep voting for you because you're not giving me what I need, but you're giving all these other different groups that are voting for you at the same rate that Black people are voting for you at. Why am I going to continue to give you my vote? You gave Native Americans billions of dollars under the CARES Act. You gave that AIDS and hate crime bill. You gave them $30 million. So if I keep seeing you're giving Ukraine $175 billion, you're giving Israel $20 billion. Why am I giving you my vote when it comes time for you to do something for me? You say you can't do it because the Republicans keep stopping you. And when Trump gets in power, he does all kind of chaos and he does whatever the hell he wants to do. Nobody's stopping him, no matter who is where. So that's my issue, and that's why I don't blame people for looking for an alternative, because I understand we've been doing the same thing. And
but this is the problem. This is the problem I'm seeing, that they didn't do the work to be middle-aged people looking for an alternative. The answer is, like, I guess what I'm proposing to you, and I'm not hearing really an answer back. How then do you get to the point where the people that are far right that cut Medicaid are the alternative?
Right. So I think what happened is there were some of the Black men. I know that there were Black men in Chicago. I'm speaking of the conversations I had with them. And the reason they said they were voting for Trump is because, besides the fact that the economy, they have, what that little businesses said that they did make more money under him, they also did not like the fact that the Democrats brought in all of the open border. They brought in all these different illegal immigrants, and they ended up paying for it, because not only did we pay $400 billion towards the migrant crisis, in addition to that, their property taxes are going to increase because they are now in a deficit because they have to pay for this. So when they brought them to Martha's Vineyard, they told the rich people said no to get them out of our neighborhoods. But when they brought them, they dropped them in Chicago, they dropped them in New York.
No, I hear that. Have you heard of the Maslow hierarchy of needs ever before? I'm not saying it's a Maslow hierarchy of needs. Have you ever?
You said Maslow, the MASLOW?
Yeah, I don't have it on screen. I might put it in the final one, because what happens is there's levels to how you fulfill your needs. You have you have physiological needs. That's the lowest immediate stuff. Feeding yourself, making sure you have shelter. You have safety needs above that. So feeding yourself, then you have shelter. Love and belonging. You have feeding yourself, you have shelter, then you need companionship. Then you have esteem above that. What's happening with this group? And then the last one is self-actualization. Time to leisure and sit around and meditate and think about how to better yourself. What I'm saying with this group is it's so impoverished that most of its voting should be at the physiological need. But what ends up happening is, I get that issue, but because of the level that the group is on, they are skipping physiological needs. And in particular, I'm going to get to it later. They say they had a number where at some point, 40% of Black women are on SNAP. For Black men, I think it was like 22. That's because y'all got the children. So you got a man that don't got his children with him, voting against SNAP, but then doing it because of immigration. You got to make sure your babies is fed, but they not with you. They with the mama. So we don't act. And I'm saying that I don't know if that is the answer. I do believe, because I said down ballot Democrat, and I've been voting down ballot Democrat since 2008. I do believe there needs to be a dynamic answer. I just don't think this is dynamic. I appreciate you calling. Thank you. Go ahead.
Let me say something real quick. Do you think that Kamala made the case?
No. I come back to, she never should have run. See, what I'm saying to you is that the answer is the guy from Milwaukee, the first caller that was from being incarcerated, he didn't necessarily probably want to canvass for Kamala, but he been in programs coming out of them jails that he's seen in Milwaukee get cut under Republicans. So he has to take care of his immediate needs first. But what I'm saying to you is that the real answer is to hold the Democratic National Party responsible for making Kamala our candidate, because everybody knew she couldn't run against Trump. Everybody knew she couldn't win against Trump.
How do we do that though if they keep winning the primary?
Well, the first part is if you're asking me, it starts today, not when the election cycle starts. The second part is joining the ADOS Advocacy Foundation and making a voluminous discussion. The third part is we can't allow for them to go out and find weird individuals that don't represent the normal black voice and then use them as a speaking voice. White folks don't have trailer trash speaking for them. This man is lost.
Exactly.
Let me read this to you. Just one thing. Have you ever do you know anything about this man that's standing behind Trump? You might not have it on your screen with this Black for Trump sign. Have you ever looked into him a little bit? And I'm not saying it to say you should have, but I'm just going.
No, hold on, because I'm not even looking. No, it looks like a.
Let me say.
I'm looking at the screen now.
This guy, Blacks for Trump. See, everybody will say, I see black men, they out there for Trump. Who are these four men? Well, we know what this man with the wave pomade and the little long ponytail is. His name is Maurice Woodside. Simonet was known as Maurice Woodside until 92, when the black supremacist cult leader he followed, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, was jailed for leading a conspiracy to murder 14 white people in initiation rites. Woodside was among the Miami-based nation of Yahweh cult members charged in the two other murders. I'm going to skip down. His online sermons and writings suggest that he still sees himself as a follower of the cult leader who died in 2007. In July, for instance, he declared on Facebook that he had received a divinely inspired cure for COVID-19. So y'all are thinking that black men are voting, but it's the most insane section of black men. And then y'all not correcting it at the dinner table. I'll let you say your last word.
Yeah, so yeah, my thing is, yes, like I said, them winning the primaries does make it hard, but I also feel like another thing that I think attracted black men to Trump was the First Step Act, and I think that the Democrats should have countered that. Biden was in office, and he hardly did anything for criminal justice reform, besides the fact that he contributed to mass incarceration.
I agree.
They shouldn't have ran him, and they shouldn't have ran her, but at the very least, he should have done something for criminal justice reform to counter Trump. And I think that all of that contributed to Kamala's loss, besides the fact that she's a horrible candidate. There's a lot of reasons why she was.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I love the spirited discussion. I guess where I'm at, and we're going to get into education in a second, is we can't have an answer to Biden and Harris that resolves itself by us stabbing ourselves and being fatalists. And we particularly can't have people who have retirement or pensions or a house trying to act like you understand fatalism. You live too good. You living better than the people fresh out. The mama that's really down there at the in line for the food stamps. If you're not that person and you also a fatalist, man, shut up. So the numbers show that Kamala was among the worst black candidates in the national election in the history of voting, and they don't really want to talk about. We told you we didn't want her. And understand, you can't say nothing to me and Yvette because we said it before everybody. 2019, go look it up. Philly Inquirer is me and Yvette quoted. We're saying that Kamala is the worst candidate. Come on. And that she got to do something for ADOS black folks when didn't nobody know what ADOS was. So don't tell us about never Kamala, because at that point, you still was loving on Obama. Huh? Can we talk? Can we talk today? We got a lot of people trying to tell us about what we being dynamic, and you out here talking about voting for Trump and joining this man's organization. He's still using signs with pens, markers. He out here writing his signs like it's 1985. For years before Trump emerged as candidate, Simonet had been trying for success to use campaign rallies as a vehicle to spread his strange hybrid of politics, religion, and delusion. Y'all letting these folks come to your dinner tables and then asking us to converse with you as you justify it. But I believe a lot of it came out of Trump and the rap vote. So these rappers, you had Kanye, you had Lil Wayne endorsed Trump. Kanye went down there with the hat. But black celebrity has been endorsing Trump, silently pushing this super capitalist white man for decades. From Serena to Lil Wayne to Diddy to Snoop to Kanye. They are giving him a brand value that he don't deserve, leading to a crazy section of delusion black folks that want answers, which they deserve, but don't understand. You might not have the education to understand what an answer look like. And what an answer look like definitely ain't like this. Can I talk today? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I had to call back this week from Milwaukee. I called back in response to something the lady said about an alternative, which is what you all been offering for quite a time, which is to vote down ballot to show your displeasure with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
With the Democrats, right? So a second thing is being in Wisconsin, being under mostly Republican Congress, Republican governors, you've seen a massive increase in incarceration. And most people are incarcerated to state level and not federal level. And so these are the things too we have to not be they do things as a facade to show you an image. It's very few on the federal level, it's more on a state level situation when we dealing with mass incarceration. So and there was no target or attack towards that. And another thing when you said we gotta vote about our physical situation, you have to understand this man said he wants to bring back stop and frisk. He also said that he wanted to give police immunity when we are 12% of the population, but are killed 25% by the police. So we have to understand those aspects well when we also make up 20% of those people who are exonerated due to DNA.
Hey man, and I'm gonna get into the budgets in a second, so stay tuned. I just don't know how he's good for us. I don't know other than immigration and maybe the trans issue, which is nominal actually in day-to-day experience. I don't understand how a black person today, especially that doesn't have any wealth, which is nearly all the blacks in America. I don't know what I just don't. He has no agenda item that really helps us other than what I just mentioned, and that's down the like when you heard when I talk about Maslow hierarchy of needs. You guys, many of you are don't understand that you need to be worrying about survival and the programs that keep you alive. I seen a data point, and I'm actually let me share this with you. Let me share this one data point with you. Y'all got me jumping forward on the show. I don't even like doing that, but I got to share this one data point.
Well, just listen
to this. No, but listen to this one point. Medicaid challenges leave many Black Americans uninsured. In 2022, I want to know your response as soon as I say it. In 2022, about half of Black Americans younger than 65 were insured through an employer or a private insurer. Follow me. According to KFF, while nearly 40% were insured through Medicaid. So you might have somebody on Medicaid voting for Trump when he gonna cut Medicaid. Go ahead.
And not only that, they might have somebody who just got released and their employment comes through the fact that they get a certain insurance, Medicaid, being released from prison to be higher that the state covers. So the incentive to hire A7 will be cut along with that.
And that's what's so weird about Black America is that we've been surviving. We'll have a cousin that's in jail. We just don't talk to him no more because we not better than that, but that's how we live. They done made us live in these little tubes. But then we don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
We don't understand that he living on nothing but programs, and then we don't even understand because we don't do no politics. Much of your life today is programs. It's programs. Your public school, your charter school.
I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that I got out of prison after 13 and a half years in prison, and I was loaning my cousins the money to their next paycheck.
Come on. Come on.
You see what I'm saying? Like, honest to God, too, like, because I educated myself with my white label and things to do, to generate money on the side, like, you know, being a capitalist. So I educate myself on real capitalism, how to make money off my money. They work jobs, they have to fall for me on the regular basis.
Come on.
But because they never get in, they got a certain company viewpoint, and they survive off so many of those. Like, they still get food stamps.
Hey, man, look. I want to let other people get in here. I appreciate you, man. I know this got you going. I'm going to let you go right now. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much for calling back. Look, y'all done got him elected or played a role, and now he done picked nothing but white folks, white women. So white women is who he picking, and y'all done sold everything out to get him there. Meet the black men in Georgia voting for Trump. Is this man Adolf? Yeah. We seen the Brookings study that showed that a large chunk of the black men, because we don't know. The other thing is we don't know what percentage of this 21 was heavily weighted with black immigrant men. I would bet that if you took black immigrant men out, black men, ADOS were above 84, 85% for Harris. Based on the Brookings data, it shows that. So we're getting weighted with a larger chunk of black immigrant men that are voting against our interests as pro-black folk, and then it looked like it's ADOS men being crazy. Can we talk? Can I talk about it? I gotta get through this show. Hold on, I gotta get through this show, man. It's 50 minutes in, and I didn't even get to it because y'all want to fight. We out here having a very spirited fight. That done went by. Here's what Trump is proposing for the economy. So listen. President-elect Donald Trump on the campaign trail laid out a broad array of ideas aimed at providing tax relief, cutting prices, hiking tariffs, and strengthening the economy. During the second administration, President-elect Donald Trump and a Republican-based Congress are expected to limit abortion access and cut spending for Medicaid. I just told you 40% of black people under 65 are on Medicaid. That's how they get their health insurance. He gonna cut it. And the Affordable Care Act. A lot of people on that too. Health policy expert from the nonpartisan KFF said on Bloom call, the topic was what a second Trump administration may mean for healthcare, limit access to contraception, begin strict enforcement of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, thus restraining care for pregnant people in distress, scrap or curtail Medicare's new drug price negotiations program, let the enhanced subsidies expire at the end of 2025 for millions enrolled in the ACA plan. That means the math is inescapable, Levitt noted, explaining that cuts are coming in spending for Medicaid and ACA. Medicaid is the next biggest chunk of money after those other programs. And if there is pressure to cut spending to finance tax cuts, then Medicaid will have a big target. In the past, Trump conservative groups and Republicans in Congress have endorsed plans to cut Medicaid spending by making block grants to states or per capita caps. So then your state just decide your red leaning state. All right. You ready for that? House Ethics Committee reviewing sexual misconduct obstruction allegations against Matt Gaetz. So Matt Gaetz is put forth for the Attorney General spot, and he got sexual allegations. In June, CBS News reported 4 women have informed the Ethics Committee that were paid to go to sex and drug-funded parties with Gaetz, and Trump put him forward for the Attorney General spot. Mr. Gaetz' likely nomination as Attorney General is a pervasive development in a truly dark series of events. We would support the House Ethics Committee immediately releasing their report. She was a high school student and there were witnesses. Breaking sources for Miami Herald confirmed that the ethics report is highly damaging. You thought DOJ staffers were in a full-blown freak out before. Gates fits that profile to a T. He has never worked as a prosecutor, and his primary interaction with the Justice Department has been as a suspect under investigation for sex crimes. And that is who Trump has just put forward for Attorney General. But we got this in the background. We got this on the side of the freeway. Now, mind you, these men might have serious mental issues. We ain't checked on that, but some of these stories, they not right. I read one to you about the cult earlier. We got this. 310-388-3499. You got Tulsi Gabbard's nomination is a national security risk. He done nominated her for some kind of high-level national security position. Gabbard is stunningly unqualified for almost any cabinet post, as are some of Trump's other picks, but especially for ODNI. She has no qualification as an intelligence professional, literally none. She is a reserve lieutenant colonel who previously served in the Hawaii Army National Guard with assignments in medical, police, and civil affairs. She has won some local elections and represented Hawaii in Congress. She has no significant experience directing or managing much of anything. But listen to this. Gabbard ran for president as a Democrat in 2020, attempting to position herself as something like a peace candidate, a moderate, a center-based candidate, but she's no peacemaker. She's an apologist for both the Syrian dictator and Russia's Putin. Her politics, which are otherwise incoherent, tend to be sympathetic to these two strong-arm men, painting America as the problem and the dictators as misunderstood. Hawaii voters have long been perplexed by the way she's positioned herself. And I would argue I see this from some black folk politically. But Gabbard is a classic case of a horseshoe politics. Her views can seem both extremely left and extremely right, which is probably why people like Tucker Carlson, a conservative who has turned into whatever pro-Russia right-wingers are called now, have taken a liking to the former Democrat. And this is who he chose. But y'all standing with him. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Tom? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, man.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm in Walmart. I was trying to wait out in my car, but hey, I want to preface this. I've been listening to you for quite a while. I'm 536. I have an undergrad from University of Missouri, Columbia in biology. I've been voting since 1992 when I was a freshman in college. Very first time I voted for Bill Clinton. I've been voting Democrat all the way up until 2020. So I hear everything that you're saying, and you're a great speaker because you were an attorney. But it's time to jump off the plantation, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what you. Yeah, I know, but you got to read what's on screen. Yeah, but what's yeah, but how do you? But you jumping off the plantation into a fire. That's what I don't understand.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. The definition of doing the same thing.
Yeah, but what you saying is doing something where you jump into fire though. Yeah, but I'm saying you didn't go to prison though. You just had a good life. You described a very good. You just described a very good life. What I'm saying to you is hold on. No, what you just described is a very good life. It's the classic example. The dude that's out of prison got to deal with the fucking consequences, bro. I'm not doing this show for me.
Okay.
I don't have no kids and their programs are gonna get cut. I live in California. Listen, what I'm saying. No, I'm not talking about one bill in '94. I'm talking about today with what I got on screen. This man is gonna be in office.
Okay.
You're not answering for what these budget cuts. These budget cuts don't affect you the same way it affects other poor black folk that are indigent. And you don't care. Just say I don't care though. But just say I don't care. No, today. Are you on Medicaid? Are you on Medicaid?
No.
Okay, shut the fuck up then.
But I have family. I have family.
If you ain't on Medicaid and he about to cut Medicaid for black folk, for white folk too that are poor, for anybody poor, I don't want to hear about how you okay with Medicaid getting cut. And we dealt with it before. If you don't have no kid in the Department of Education, and then he talking about getting rid of the Department of Education, I'll show you in a second. I don't want to hear how you okay with there not being a Department of Education. What's happening now is that black men in a chunk are becoming fatalists, but many of them are not part of the group that actually is dealing with the greatest consequence. They remove from it and then rambling. I'm just doing a show that most black men that are educated don't do. I'm just doing a show that really deals with what's on screen. Trump budget deeply cuts health, housing, other assistance for low and moderate income families. Less than 2 months, and this is back in 2018, because he already been president, we can actually see it. So when you say, and I'm going to read this, that you can't do the same thing, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not even a coherent answer. You can tell me that you're going to vote third party. You can tell me that you did down ballot Democrat. You can even tell me that you didn't vote, and I would disagree that you should. What you can't tell me is that you're going to vote for this as your answer because you can't do the same thing. So I don't even think you guys understand the terms you use. That's not what the term is meant for, that you go in life. And so let's say this. You with your wife, y'all not getting along. Your wife spends money on too many things. And let's say that you don't come home regularly. Y'all can't keep living that way and doing the same thing. It don't mean that you go to like the strip club and just get a new wife. That don't mean that new thing that you did fixes that. It means you got to go to counseling. It means that you got to address some self-issues. It means that you got to sit down with your wife and see if you guys actually are coherently together and whether it's your fault, her fault, or both y'all fault. It don't mean you got to go to the strip club and get a new wife, though. God, there are worse problems out there. I just want to talk because I don't know what y'all doing with your lives and how you even getting through mine. Less than 2 months, and this is back in 2018, so we now can see the vision of a Donald Trump, the kind of administration that Donald Trump sees. After signing a massive tax cut that largely benefits those at the top of the economic ladder, President Trump has put forward a 2019 budget that cuts basic assistance that millions of families struggle to get by and need to help pay the rent, put food on the table, and get health care. The cuts would affect a broad range of low and moderate income people. So for those people that don't understand politics on the most basic level, when somebody is saying tax cuts at a massive level, they are also saying that they're going to cut programs because the money got to come from somewhere. And they don't normally take it from defense spending or something like that. They are going to take it from Medicaid, which is the medical care for your poor ass. They're going to take it from SNAP, which is the food assistance when you lose your job. They're going to take it from everything, Department of Education. How you don't know this? And I'm not talking to no group that's 23, 25. Y'all 40 years old and don't understand what the hell you doing. The budget also scales back efforts to promote opportunity and upward mobility, such as cutting both job training and programs that make college more affordable. Talking about cutting Pell Grants. You got a kid in school, ain't got no college savings. They need a Pell Grant to get through their 4 years. And you voting for Trump like you had a right to vote for Trump. You didn't save enough to vote for Trump. Talk about it. You going to replace the Pell Grant with money, real money. You don't even know they get a Pell Grant because you don't get their FAFSA. They doing it on their own like how I did it. So you don't never see the breakdown of how they living. So your mouth come from the fact that somebody else paying your bill, your legacy, your lineal bill. Or you young and you just out of college or something, you live the collegey life. You got black folks that ain't you, that don't have a car and that actually need these programs in your family. That's your cousin that your mama and your daddy didn't have you talking to so that you could go to college. You're not turning on the wrong path. These cuts fly in the face of the administration's rhetoric about expanding opportunity for those facing difficulties in today's economy. Part of what I'm having a problem with. Can I talk to y'all for a second? Come on. And I shout out the Milwaukee dude that called in. Give it to him. He might not have wanted to vote for Harris, but he know that program when he got out of jail was there because the right wing wanted to cut it and just throw him on the ground out. The right wing wanted to just throw him from being in prison to being in the public. But there was some job training program, some housing program. He know that. college boy don't know that his Pell Grant came from the fact that that same kind of situation. Part of what's happening is that I majored in this at this school. Let me say that again. You got Charlemagne, who's a high school dropout. It's about D.L. Hughley, high school dropout. It's a lot of high school dropouts talking about politics. That means that understand what it means if they dropped out of high school, even if they got a GED. Some of these people never went back to school. It means that you may be listening to somebody that has a 10th grade understanding of politics. It's not that they became a farmer or a bus driver or part of a factory. They were past that era. They was trying to rap or do a music video or become a comedian. They have a 10th grade understanding of politics. And even if they got their GED, some of these GEDs, like I showed you with Charlemagne's, it only requires 1 unit of U.S. history. We don't never slow this down. So at this university, the top public university, one of the top universities in the world when they did the top 10, I think it was like 8, I studied Poli-Sci 10, Introduction to Political Theory, Poli-Sci 20, World Politics, Poli-Sci 30, Politics and Strategy, Poli-Sci 40, Introduction to American Politics, Poli-Sci 50, Introduction to Comparative Politics, Poli-Sci 60, Diversity and Disagreement. And you got to get B's and A's against the best students in the world. And we supposed to talk about politics together and engage. And you can't listen because you telling me, well, you got to infect some change because change is change, and I got to change, and I need some change in my pockets. I need to talk today. They don't want to hear it. We already know only 16% of ADOS native-born black folks have a college degree from anywhere, Wilberforce up. I think what Umar go to, he went to like a farm school or some weird little school. At least he went to school though. So if that's 16%, how many of that 16% have a political science degree? Let alone have it, or a lawyer or something like that. What, 1%? What are we talking about? If y'all could just give me a real answer. The one thing I like about Yvette is she went and worked on the Hill. So I be listening to what she be talking about sometimes because she was on the Hill. Y'all up there trying to debate with her and you ain't graduate from high school or you back here with a sign that you made at the house an hour ago. You didn't have the effort to print up a sign, nor the resources. A new study from the London School of Economics says 50 years of tax cuts in the U.S., which promise to trickle down and eventually boost jobs and income for everyone, have only helped one group, the rich. Let them eat cornflakes. You remember that? When the Kellogg CEO said that about we starving at night, he said, let them eat cornflakes. He said it on accident on the CNBC show. And we see it reflected in how white folks took off. So from slavery all the way to 1989, white folks, all of them got to 25 trillion. Over our life, our adult life, they have went from 25 trillion to 130 trillion. We have lived through a devastation due to Reagan, due to neoliberalism with Clinton and Obama, due to Trump, like nothing seen. Now people would say, well, that's why I'm saying we got to change something. Well, you don't change something with a chainsaw. The change ain't to something worse. It's to something better. But because many of you guys are fatalists, you are the pennyworth of our race, shrinking up like a clown in it. You don't understand that you're destroying our community. You the new crack dealer of fatalism. The most important issue facing our country is the very rapid movement toward oligarchs. I told you that about oligarchs almost 8 years ago. But you out here with this sign, caring and talking. What programs? We are the most resilient people on the planet and have been since slavery. We're going to be all right. All right. Trump's budget cut by the numbers. What gets cut and why? May 2017. This is the context of Trump. Department of Labor, 20% cut from 12 billion to 9 under his budget. Department of Interior, 13 billion to 11. Let's skip down. Department of Justice, 3% cut, 28 to 27. Department of Housing and Urban Development, 46.9 to 40.7. That might be a voucher that you use or your grandmama used to keep her Section 8. Department of Homeland Security went up. That went up by $3 billion. Department of Education, your child's school, $68 billion to $59 billion. That's an $8 billion cut. After school, that might be the program that lets you work a little few hours. They got a program after school for school in at 3. It's 3 more hours. It's a lady that watch your kids so that you can finish up and try to get over there by 6:15. Well, now you got to pay. And you should pay. You voted for Trump. Corpse program. See, this like this, he's talking about Trump when Obama hurt us the worst. You're not educated, bro. He didn't hurt us worse than I didn't vote for Obama. You might have voted for Obama. That's what's so crazy. In 2008. You look like you probably did. But I didn't vote for him. I voted down by the Democrat. But in addition, he didn't hurt us the worst. Look at I got it on screen, the budget cuts. Department of Transportation cut by $2 billion, 12%. So many of y'all live in these red states that have it set up where you don't even have buses to get around. Well, you ain't gonna have no car because they're too expensive, and you ain't gonna have no buses. Department of Defense went up 10%. Department of Veteran Affairs. Medicaid, let me explain, because a lot of people don't know what Medicaid is versus Medicare. One is for old people. Medicaid, in the United States, Medicaid is a government program that provides health insurance for adults and children with limited resources. POFO. In 2022, about half, and this is according to CNBC, Medicaid challenges leave many Black Americans uninsured. In 2022, about half of Black Americans younger than 65 were insured through an employer or private insurer. So that's including, I think, the ACA. So this man is that we gonna cut some of that too. But according to KFF, nearly 40% were insured through Medicaid. According to the recent data, approximately 26% of SNAP recipients in the U.S. are African American. So people love to make this argument. I guess it makes them feel better that most of the recipients, I think like 30%, are white. Well, they half of the people though. We only 13% of the people, but we 26% of the recipients. And the math confuses them because, again, the education level of the race, anti-intellectual. That means that your group is indigent. What we have is a situation where he's talking about cutting all that. This is a heavier show, so there's some reading in here for you to listen to. President Trump's 2018 budget would deeply cut federal funding for programs and services states and localities deliver. In 2027 alone, the state, and I believe that's 2017, the cut would reach as much as $453 billion. 37% of state budgets at that time. The cuts would begin in 2018 when the states and localities would need to come up with an additional $44 billion, equivalent to more than 5% of state and general fund budgets. To maintain programs, the federal government is shedding. More than half the states have already begun struggling to close gaps between ongoing costs and revenues in their own budgets. Most states cannot replace that lost funding without raising taxes significantly. The budget would deeply cut 4 entitlement programs: SNAP, Medicaid, Social Service Block Grants, and TANF, temporary assistance for needy families. In 2017, I believe they keep on saying 27, the entitlement cuts will equal as much as $346 billion. And again, this is the same organization that I know some of you guys like sourcing because we do education here. Budget and Policy Priorities. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. If you want to look up this, you just type in that title that's at the top of this article. The Trump budget's massive cuts to state and local services and programs. The budget will eliminate several annually appropriated grants, including support for after-school programs. What did I just say? So when we see these numbers like the cut in education, 13.5%, the expression of that is, and that's the show, the teaching show today, shown in the budget, and it's shown in cuts to things like the community service block grants, the one that lets you have free after-school care. And you don't even know because you don't do no politics at all. Then you at the school complaining, how could you cut the programs and why does it cost now? but you voted for Trump. The Trump budget would cut programs that directly assist low and moderate income families with children with disabilities and seniors, as well as programs that improve the communities in which low and moderate income people live, rather than giving low income people support to help them become self-sufficient, such as job training, childcare, adequate nutrition, and healthcare. This budget would simply drive people deeper into poverty. SNAP is a highly effective program targeted to households that need help meeting basic food needs. The Trump budget would change that. Oh, let me finish it. It provides vital assistance. Benefits have always been federally financed, with states paying a share of the state level administration costs. That means that a poor person is eligible for the same level of food assistance regardless of where they live, whether it's California, Mississippi, or anywhere else. The Trump budget would change that by requiring states to pay a share of the SNAP benefits, rising from 10% in 2020 to 25% in 2027. I guess they did mean 2027 the whole time. This would shift 116 billion in SNAP benefit costs to states over the decade. That means that we are 2024. That means in 2027, Mississippi just say, I'm not paying my 25%. You don't get enough to eat. Such a cost shift would have significant consequences for states, state budgets. In Texas, for example, 25% of SNAP spending, about $1.3 billion a year, is roughly equivalent to the state share of the annual salary of teachers. In Pennsylvania, 25% of SNAP spending is more than twice that the state spends on community college. Moreover, in every previous recession, SNAP has expanded automatically as people lose income. So people losing income, and he gonna cut SNAP. Social service block grants. This uniquely flexible funding source helps states meet the specialized needs of the most vulnerable populations, mainly low and moderate income children, and people who are elderly or disabled. States use the $1.7 billion a year in grant to support services designed to help people become more self-sufficient by providing child care assistance, to address child abuse and neglect, and to support community-based care for elderly and disabled. Your grandmama's domino or puzzle program at the community center. Roughly 28 million people, half of them children, receive services funded in whole or in part by the Social Services Block Grant. The Trump budget would eliminate the Social Services Block Grant, cutting funding by $1.4 billion and $16.5 billion over the decade. Again, this show is to really dig into how many of y'all don't understand politics, but want to debate me and also want to destroy your own family, and then make fatalist arguments built around a Pennyworth, it kind of argument, it the clown argument about how you big man on campus, you fatalist, tear it all down. Don't tear it down around me. Don't tear it down around me. I'm okay. California schools chief pledges to resist cuts in funding if Trump axes the Department of Education. You got this whole thing where he's trying to do what Reagan couldn't and cut the Department of Education. Do you know what that looks like in Mississippi or Alabama or even Georgia, the greater Georgia? Housing. Trump has routinely bragged about saving the suburbs after he scrapped an Obama rule requiring localities to track patterns of segregation or lose federal funding. I just wanted to come to you today, talk about it. Tone Talks, ToneTalks.net. Subscribe, donate, or share. All them Trump supporters out there, y'all need to have a discussion this Thanksgiving and make it real. We out.